Welcome this morning to the contemplation part of our service, a little softer part of our service as we move toward our celebration service. So we want to welcome you this morning that are here for this part of the service. Again, contemplation, and I'll keep saying this again and again, contemplation is a great stage of meditation. Contemplation is not trying to discipline yourself to an art of meditation, but it's the ability to take all that is coming to us, which is a lot these days. There's so much information, so much available to us. You that are exposing yourself to the internet and to Facebook and to so many things that is coming your way, that it is our responsibility to contemplate this information. I remind you again that contemplation is the ability to hold information and knowledge into a neutral place in yourself without attaching right or wrong, good or bad. And the reason for doing that is because the information and the knowledge that you want to be a part of your belief system must come from self-knowledge, authentic self. Every one of you come into this world with an innate intelligence center. We tend to lean toward calling it Christ consciousness or Holy Spirit, but it's in every one of us. It's the knowing part of us. Have you ever just experienced a moment of knowing and your head's going, I don't know if I believe that, but I know it. Have you ever had a knowing before you even understood it? I knew not to do that, but I did it anyway. We all have this innate knowing part of us. And if we wait and contemplate without reacting, I don't believe that because it's not my belief system or whatever, and attaching something to it, we don't give it an opportunity to just stay in our neutral place of our heart. And if it is to be your truth at that time, it will resonate your own intelligence center, and you'll have that inner aha experience. That inner, I get it, I see what it's saying. And at that moment, it becomes your knowledge, not the knowledge of some priest or rabbi or guru or minister or whoever. It becomes knowledge that has your own I am signature on it. And that's power. That's power. That's why Charles Fillmore told us that the powers are in us. I wish I could impart the power. I'm sure anybody that is in the position to speak and teach would love to be able to impart these powers, but we can do nothing but facilitate and awaken those powers that are in you. So contemplate. This is a great day for contemplation throughout this service today. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Let's sing it again, everybody. How could anyone So let's all get comfortable in our seat. Feel our feet firmly on the floor. Even though the floor is cement, it does not stop the wonderful energy of our Mother Earth. Nothing stops the power of Mother Earth and her energy rising up to our feet, moving up our legs, and finding the heart. Mother Earth is always looking for her place in the heart, the place of balance. And now feel the wonderful spirit and presence of Father Sky coming down from the cosmos, that which spins the planets, holds them in orbit and in place. We don't see that, but it's an intelligence. We know its works. Faith tells us of those things which are not seen and tells us of their reality. Father Sky searches for Mother Earth in your heart. The place of intimacy between the two where they come together, heaven and earth. Feel their love in your heart. The unconditional love. Feel your humanity in Mother Earth. The mother who gives you air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat. All the minerals that she has shared with her children, the children of the body. And now feel the spirit of Father Sky, the Father of lights, the Father of spirits. That eternal part of you that incarnated into this wonderful, wonderful human experience. Today, the word is balance. Feel the balance between your outer and your inner life, your higher self, your lower self, your sacred divine self, your human self. The middle wall is dissolved. The illusions in your mind are dissolved in the presence of just knowing and affirming that I am a light being. My eye is single and my body is full of light. There is nothing that can dwell in me that is unlike my Creator. And now as we just rest in the silence for just a few seconds, in the silence. And now from the still place, we hear that still small voice saying to us, all is well. You are whole. And if you can receive that in this moment, you are healed. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You are set free of anything that is unlike the Creator and the creation that you are. And so it is. And so it is.
We don't have to be forgiven. We don't have to prove one thing on earth. We inherited the kingdom on the occasion of our birth. love of God, no matter what we do or where we go. Oh, nothing can separate us from the unconditional love of God. It's a love that always brings my heart back home. There is not enough sand on the desert or water in the sea to compare to this infinite gift that's mine, just for being me, being me. For nothing can separate us from the unconditional love of God, no matter what we do or where we go. Oh, nothing can separate us from the unconditional love of God. It's a love that always brings my heart back home. It's a love that always brings my heart back home.
Think of your fellow man, give him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry, put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know you won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
So I named this Heart to Heart, not that I'm going to talk about the heart. There's plenty of classes here to talk about the heart. You know about the heart, but it's because I wanted to talk from my heart. Not to the heart, but from my heart. To you a little bit. So I've put some things together that resonated with me that I wanted to share with you about communities, congregations, and groups of people, and about change itself. This word has been used so much that I think we're almost numb to the word change. I've certainly been talking about it for 25 years, the big change that's coming. And of course, that was part of the Obama brand when he was running, was about change. So it's a word that's almost been overused to the point that we don't think much about it when we hear change. But change is not just a word that we can say or talk about or dissect. It's actually an experience that is happening in spite of us. I'll give you a good example for myself. There's been no one who has probably resisted the advance of technology as I have. I just absolutely made up my mind I was not getting on Facebook. And I did not. For years and years and years, I've had nothing. I'm on there. My company's on there. So I'm energetics. But personally, I've had no connection with Facebook whatsoever. Been a little suspicious of it. Didn't know how I felt about it. But a few weeks ago, and I don't even know how it happened, somehow I was introduced to Facebook. And now I'm looking at Facebook every day, in spite of myself, because things change. Now, I don't know how much I changed about it, but Facebook changed me. I'm still cautious about it, and I think all of us should be. Sometimes I want to say to people, that is not your friend. Just because you put some writing and a picture on there, that's not your friend. You know what I'm saying to you?
Amen.
That's an electronical representation of your friend and what they say and what they're doing, but it's not your friend. There's still that something in me that there's nothing better than getting a note or a card that is handwritten. Let's not lose that. Let's not lose that. Take time to write a thank you letter or a note by hand and not just email. And it is part of our position to do that as this generation is to pass that down to our grandchildren and to our children, the importance of not losing that personal contact with things. So I want to talk a little bit about developing spiritual community, not a new subject, but just a reminder. Daring to change. Daring to change. Congregations and communities change over time as new people come in, and we see that here. New people come, sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. They may come one time, they may come and stay for a few weeks, a few months, or just stay and join and become a part of the community. But there's always that infiltration of new people, new energy that is coming among us. And even though we recognize the visitors, it's more than that. It's more than just some new body that's here sitting, but it's a body that's bringing a story and bringing an energy and bringing something to contribute to the service. We who have been here, and I can include me, although I've not been a steady member for all these years, I've come back and forth for 25 years into this community as a speaker, and this is my connection with Unity as Unity of Charlotte, that I have found that certain things are predictable, traditional, I can always count on them. So for instance, this morning, how many of you noticed that we did not do the mission statement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not very many of us. Because it's become something we do at a certain time, and you've gotten used to it, and you just mentally say it. So I wanted to do something different. I think that's what threw Chris a little bit. Because he follows the mission statement and whatever. But I did it purposely, Chris. Thank you for being such a good sport about that. So I think we're going to do it now. We're going to do it out of character, out of timing, and the prediction of the mind, the brain, to do it at a certain time. So we're not going to do it mechanically, but we're going to do it right now in a conscious state. And I hope that you will see these words and read these words differently than you ever have before up until now. So I want you to join with me in our vision statement for Unity of Charlotte. We awaken and express humanity's divinity through spirit-led, heart-driven, progressive spirituality. Take that in for just a moment. What are the powerful words there? Awaken, express, spirit-led, heart-driven, And I love the word progressive spirituality. For many, many years, I headed a ministry that I developed called Progressive Truth Ministries, which was very successful in the 80s. And people said, well, how can truth be progressive? Truth is the truth. I said, it's not the truth that's progressive, it is our experience with the truth that is progressive. Consciousness is progressive. As it continuously evolves and rethinks itself based upon new information and new knowledge, that we are progressive. Therefore, it seems like the truth changes as we change our perception of the truth. Are we an awakened community? Awakened could also mean we're conscious. What does that mean to be conscious? It means to be conscious that I'm not coming here just for myself and what I can get alone, but I'm also here for the whole. I'm here for the needs of this community. And when we as individuals in the community are here for the community, then the community as a large can be here for even something bigger than itself. But it starts with you. One thing I would like to say with all love is when it is 10:20, we come in here for meditation time. And I still hear a lot of talking. That is not being mindful. You do talking out there, but you come in here at 10:20, other people might want to meditate, and we should not be talking to each other. I think that's mindful not to do that. That's being conscious. That's just one example. And you say that's a small thing. No, it's not. That's the small things that have the most huge effects on our lives. So if we're going to do that, if we're going to say 10:20 to 10:30 is meditation, then it's meditation. If we're not going to do that, then let's not do that, and we'll continue to come in here and continue our visiting with one another. Now you say, I don't know how you feel about you saying that, but I'm trying to show you that this is where we refine the art of mindfulness. Being mindful of others that are in our presence who have a certain challenge or handicap. Are we aware of that? And are we there to make sure that we are of service to them? I drove up last Sunday, and usually I get here early, so I park right there in the front. And I thought, I want to be mindful this morning. And I thought, I've still got some pretty good legs here, and I can walk. So I'm going to go down there and park in the parking lot and walk those 60 steps or whatever it is that I complain about all the time, and give that parking space to somebody else. I hope you get what I'm saying to you. It's in the things that we do not find that relevant. Sometimes it is so important that we begin to be awakened. That's what it means to be an awakened community, is to be aware and conscious of our surroundings and each other. To be integrity, a state of integrity, to honor each other. Even the opportunities. Opportunities again. What if you made that an exciting part of the service for you? Like, wow, I wonder what the opportunities are this week. And changed your whole feeling and attitude towards something and enjoyed it. And especially the offering. So the point is things are always going to change. New people's going to come, older people are going to go, people are making their transitions, people are moving away, people are choosing to go to other places, other communities, and there's always that. We can't stop that. We can't always be the same congregation Sunday after Sunday. Right? So let's do the mission statement now. Consciously, together. We apply life-enhancing, universal principles leading to co-creative, mature, spiritual adults who accept responsibility for the destiny of humanity and transforming the love of power to the power of love. We apply. Are we applying that when we leave here? Will we apply that today as we leave here and we go to different places that we go? Will we apply our principles? Do we know our principles? Are we clear about what our principles are at Unity in Charlotte? If somebody asks you, what is the principles of the church or the community that you go to, could you tell them? And tell them with great conviction that's a part of your life. Being mindful. So the point is, the world changes in spite of us, and in spite of ourselves, we learn of new ways in how to deal with that. Even like me, who wanted to be stubborn about Facebook and about the computer, it doesn't matter. It's a changing world, and it's the way it's going to go, and I'm being drug along with it. My power is in my perception of it and how I want to deal with it, and how I want to see it and how I want to use it. I'm not against technology. I'm really not. I'm not against the fact that through technology we have been connected globally. Barbara Marx Hubbard calls it the new nervous system of Gaia, of Mother Earth. That if you could see all of the cables and all of the links that links everybody in the world from space, and it was lit up, it looked like a baby's nervous system, connecting us all up. The issue is always in the fact that when new technology and new ways in which we can have greater power is always put into the hands of those that are more immature with it. So the first things that show up is greed and opportunity and how much money can I make and all that type of thing. And that's what we're going through right now. This is why it's important that we talk about being spiritual adults. Being spiritually responsible to use this power and use it for the higher good. So when I do look at Facebook now and somebody has written a quote or put something on there that is like so timely that it speaks to my heart, like I just needed to hear that. That's a good thing. But I won't go into some of the other things that people put on there. That does not in any way edify me. That can be even offensive at times. So we have a mixture going on now. But the positive side of the vision is that we will eventually, in spite of us, grow up. We can do it the easy way or we can do it the hard way. Unfortunately, we're choosing a little bit of a harder way in the sense that we are being pushed into situations in which we've got to come up with answers in how to deal with the way the world is going. And we can say that's a very bad thing. But actually, it's not a bad thing because it is what is moving us and driving us to become a changed society, a changed culture. And that includes Unity of Charlotte. We can't exclude ourselves. We're not the sanctified group that's set apart over here, the chosen of God, who is exempt from all the issues of the world. Our spirituality here is not just a community to escape the issues of the world and to somehow enter into a euphoric, feel-good, positive condition, but we're here to be empowered. With all the classes and all that is taught and offered in this community, empowers us to be able to rise to the occasion, to be able to take the most devastating and challenging issues of life and of the world, and to somehow bring in the sacred. Bring in the sacred. How can people do this? How can that group do that? We can take that road, or we can say, How are they changing the world? How are they pushing the consciousness of nations and governments? How is it changing and making people reevaluate their religious affiliations and thinking? I don't know about you, but I've had to do a lot of soul searching. It was much easier to teach New Thought and Unity 25 years ago. Things were much easier. It was before 9/11. It was before all the things that are going on in the Middle East, terrorism. Made it much easier because it seemed like it was far away. I didn't have to deal with it. I knew that day. But that is no more. Because every day something happens that's unexpected. We think it can't get any worse. It can't get any more, but it does. Are we ready to rise to the occasion? Are we ready and spiritually adult enough to take that in and to transform it into our hearts from lead to gold? From fear to the fact that evolution itself is evolving the need for us to extend the love that we're learning out into the world itself. This is why we must be careful about too much tradition. We do tradition because we do it. We do tradition because it's familiar territory for us. And I'm in no way saying that we don't need some tradition. It grounds us. I love the daily word. Everybody loves the daily word. The daily word isn't going anywhere, is my guess. It's going to stay around. It's going to always be a part of unity. It's always going to be a part of the world. It's not just unity, but people read the daily word from everywhere in the world, from all religions. It has made a great contribution to millions and millions of people. Peace on earth, sung at the end of a service. What can be better sung? It's good. But when we took surveys over a year ago, we found that some things weren't serving the community that well. That it was just not touching their hearts. And we listened to you, and we changed some of those things. And we want to continue to listen to you and to reevaluate ourselves. I think that we have to look at four things as where there's opportunities for that which has been made so traditional that it's lost its essence and experience and attachment to us. And that is in with timing, structure, content, and setting. So let me talk about this timing. It says in Scripture that everything has a time and everything has a season. And I believe that. I call them cycles. Now you may call it the alignment of planets. Or your astrology sign is in somebody's something. I don't care what you call it, but there are certain times that the universe opens the door for an opportunity for us to adjust, to retune ourselves, to realign ourselves, to reevaluate ourselves, and an opportunity to leap forward along our journey of conscious evolution. I believe that last Sunday was a timing. And maybe you just didn't take Sunday afternoon that serious. That's why you didn't come. I don't know why you didn't come, but maybe it's just another Sunday afternoon thing. We've done this before. But it really was something that happened because the timing was right. It wasn't that we did it. It's the timing was aligned to something that we were ready for. And that was to take this deeper in the sense of what it means to be a community in relationship. I think what changed this week is those who were here Sunday came to the classes this week that we all felt that was so different was because people just didn't see somebody they recognized because of their body, but they recognize somebody they now know a little about. That's deeper. When I know a little about you, you that share with me every once in a while or come into my office, it makes it such a deeper relationship with you when you've shared. And I know a little about your story, and I know a little about your life. I don't just see you, I know you. I remember it says, written, that the Apostle Paul cried out, "Oh, to know him in the power of his resurrection." Gnosis. Gnosis. Actually, it's epignosis in the Greek. It means the most upon anointed knowing that there is. Not to know it because somebody said it to me, not to know it because I read it in a book, to know it because I've always known it, I just forgot it. And I just was reminded of something. Structure. Structure is important. It means restructuring. Doing something a little differently, moving things around. Now, all of you, a lot of you here have that kind of nature where once in a while you just look at your house and you go, this couch has been sitting here for 7 years. I'm tired of looking at this couch. I'm tired of looking at this chair. I think I'm going to change that and put that over there. And you start restructuring things. And you go, oh, this really feels good. Because you're removing energy. Everything is energy. And you're removing energy. And you're having a different experience with different spaces in your house in a different way. This is very important. That we be willing to look at things and restructure them. Content. Content is the changing of the mission statement. Changing our purpose of why that we meet and we come for. And what is our purpose for being here, individually and collectively? What is our mission? We must not be as many hundreds and hundreds of churches and religions in this city who just come because it's Sunday morning. And that's what we do in the South especially, is we go to church. I've always gone to church on Sunday, and it's just set in my head, it's Sunday morning and that's church time. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we need a day that is set apart, that we connect. But we can't respond because it's just Sunday and that we go to church. Come with mission. Come with purpose. During that 10 minutes, that's why I'm mentioning the 10 minutes of meditation, contemplation at the beginning, which is kind of going by the wayside. It's not as like it was when we first started it a few months ago. And that's what happens, is we get too relaxed with things. But even that 10 minutes of coming here in the stillness and the quietness of centering yourself and preparing yourself for the service is going to make a difference to all of us who are up here. It's going to make a difference if Nancy's up here, I'm up here, whoever's up here, the choir, anybody's all going to, because you took that 10 minutes to create an atmosphere of peace, of love coming from your heart that we can step into. It's so important that we find out the content in which we are about. Next is setting. I personally believe that our environment affects us. And that's why that we have done our best under the circumstances that we are given to try to upgrade things a little bit here and paint a few new rooms, and I will get my carpet. Or not, I don't care if it's carpet. But we will get our new floor. But I think the lobby needs to be looked at. I think when people walk in that door for the first time, in a matter of seconds, they have already made an attachment at some level about what they feel about the space they've walked into. Now you may disagree with me and think that's absolutely not important, those things. I do. I will pay more for food if I want to be in a place of some ambiance, an environment. I think this is an important thing for us to look at as a community. So we may repeat some content. There's nothing wrong with that in having that similar structure. But we need to at least every year, even as spiritual part of the leadership, to look at things from a different point of view. Where have we gone from the last year that we did this? How have we grown? What has changed in the community? Who is no longer there? Who is new? And you that are new this morning, that might enjoy this and might want to come back and check us out a little bit, we want to let you know that you're not an outsider because maybe this is not your church that you've joined. When you come in here, you're a part of all of us when you come in here. We call you a visitor. But there's really no separating what connects us all as human beings. Whether we call ourselves unity or call ourselves a member or a non-member, those are not the things that disconnect the human hearts. The human hearts. I'm proud of my friend Jack back here. Jack, raise your hand so they know who I'm talking about. The guy with the eagle on him. I met Jack a couple of years ago, and we've just, I don't know, kind of stayed in touch. And he's new to us here at Unity. But he has jumped right in. He's not only come to see me and talk to me, but he made an appointment to go talk to Nancy. And he's talking to many of you. He's talked to, I know, Rita. And he's talking to people. And he's bringing his energy right in here. Not to sit back, but he's looking to be a part of something that's progressive and action and evolving and changing. Something that is ready for authenticity and getting real and shedding our old garments and personas. And I am too. I am too. We're not a faith tradition which is about the use of just liturgy and standard services, but we're a creative faith community. And it seems to me that in our spiritual communities, one of our tasks is to develop our traditions because we create our services from personal reflection and learning. People should feel comfortable to add, tweak, or completely alter what they experience in a service. I get up here and speak, and I have no idea what you're hearing. If you all took time right now to all share what you heard me say this far, I doubt if any two of you would have heard the same thing. You've heard what you've heard. And it's your responsibility to take what you hear and to see how you feel about it and contemplate it and to make it your own. You certainly have my permission. I'm not up here to brainwash you. I'm not in here to give you some dogma or to convince you or to convict, what do you call it? We used to go out and get people to change their minds.
You can't even remember it.
No, I can't. That's terrible. I did it for years too. Convert people, that's it. I just can't say it. To convert you to the way that I believe and the way that I see it. All we can do as spiritual leaders is that we can share the way we are feeling, the way we're studying, the way we're seeing it, and putting it out there for you. It is your responsibility. So let me say this in closing. People say, well, what did he mean? There's no way you're going to get everything that I or anybody else says 100%. Everything that I say is not for you individually. And maybe something that I said, for instance, you go, I don't know about that. I don't get that. And the one behind you is going, I needed that. Oh my God, that was exactly what I needed to hear. That was such confirmation. And I call that breaking of bread. You that remember the tradition of communion. Getting the wafer, or in our case, we did break, literally, bread into pieces and we gave it to people with the grape juice of the wine or whatever. Well, we don't exactly do that at Unity in the sense of a tradition like that, but actually it does go on a metaphysical level. And that is, I may have a loaf of bread, which could be my sermon, but I break that bread and give you a piece of that bread. Everybody here, I have not in any way been successful. If there's anyone leaving here that did not get something from this talk today, then I have not been successful. It doesn't mean that I can say that you should get everything that I've said, but you should get something that I have said that you can take with you. If that's true, then I've given you and broken off a piece of bread and we have had communion. That's where the word community comes from, is from communion. So all I'm saying, I didn't try to preach a sermon today. I wasn't going to get all hot and bothered. Although I'm warm. I just wanted to remind us that change is upon us. There is nowhere to hide from it. And that you are ready and prepared to rise to the occasion. Because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your life. You're going to feel it in your marriages and relationships. You're going to feel it in your job. You're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel it in your sleep patterns. You're going to feel it in your eating patterns. You're going to feel it in the relationships that you have with the different systems of this world. You're going to feel it in your financial, medical. There's nowhere to hide from change. Unity is a part of this opportunity to change. The more I've dug into Charles Fillmore's writings, the more I sense the vision of this man. He was a true visionary. And others who were about that time. So I don't know what was going on at the last of the 19th century or so, middle 19th century, but something was going on. The people were catching a vision of something so much deeper in the Christian world that has been offered to us. But they also saw how this was going to be brought into the future. They understood that it would be a time that we would understand things much differently. Somebody who could write a book called The Smashing of the Atom. Come on. That's pretty progressive. Over 125, 30 years ago to write a book like that, because he understood that we were on the verge of the quantum age and that we were on the midst of seeing ourselves differently and how we're put together differently and how we treat ourselves and our own bodies differently. So we are not being faithful to our founders by moving forward. It is the spirit of our founders that is pushing us forward to grow and to mature and to come forth in a new and different way. So be a part of that change. Enter into that change. Take advantage of the next week when we have the community meeting. That's your chance. That's the chance for your voice. I'm for the surveys again. I want to know what you're thinking out there. I think. No, I do. Whatever you're thinking, I can take it. But be a part of it. Don't put it on just we who are up here. It's not our jobs totally. All of us are a part of this change that is taking place. Join me in just a prayer for a moment. . Holy Spirit, you're a living, pulsing, vibrating energy that has been given to us by our Creator into the world where we live. You're the bridge, you're the link between where we truly are and where we think we are, between the human and between the divine, between the inner, between the outer. As a living and moving, pulsating vibration, ever reaching toward change and transformation, let us find this dance of transformation in this community. Let us grow and mature. Let us join into the creative process as co-creators. Let us use our power, the power of meditation, the power of visualization, the power of the Word, and all of the wonderful tools that we've been taught in this community to further the evolution of consciousness in the world itself. Now be with each and every one of us that are here this morning, and even those that are not here in body, that are consciously connected to this community, wherever they are, may they feel our love and our presence. And then to all over the world. So it is. How many of you noticed the new expression of God's love board out here? Last Sunday, you that was here, we all made hearts and we wrote things that we appreciate, and they're all out there on the board. So be sure to notice that before you leave today.
And add to it.
And add to it, absolutely. Add to it. It's right out here on this wall right here to your left, toward the bathrooms, that you can see what we've done. See, we did a lot last Sunday. We got a lot accomplished here Sunday. You walked into a new unity today. A new place and a new unity. All right, well. You are the words and the music. You are the reason that I sing. You are the melody. You are the harmony. Praise to your name I will sing. You are the mighty ones. You are the light of lights. You are the expression of God. Now I return to you, song that you gave to me. You are the song that I sing. Everybody sing. You are the words and the music. You are the reason that I sing. You are the melody. You are the harmony. Praise to your name I will sing. You are the mighty one. You are the light of lights. You are the expression of love. Now I return to you, song that you gave to me. You are the song that I sing. I'm gonna sing it again. You are the words and the music. Can't hear you. You are the reason that I sing. Yes, you are. You are the melody. You are the harmony. Praise to your name I will sing. You are the mighty ones. You are the light of lights. You are the expression of love. Now I return to you, song that you gave to me. You are the song that I sing. Now I return to you, song that you gave to me. You are the song that I sing. All right, that's the way to do it.
this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
As we just hold that in our heart for just a second, sending out peace to the whole world.
The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
God bless. Have a wonderful week.